Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. This is another High Vibe Conversations with the High Vibe Women with Heart. I'm your host, Shel Shapiro, and today we're going to be talking about choosing to connect, which is quite relatable right now, as we've each had some tech issues connecting today. But we're here, and we're ready to have this conversation. Connection is so powerful for me. Like, it's something that is really important, and it goes back to, for me, I'm thinking about how I relate to other people and the way that I relate to the world. And so every day, thanks to Stina, I've been using this app that shares this horoscope with me. And I thought my horoscope that popped up just a few minutes ago was pretty relatable about connections. So I just want to read that for everyone. And it says, are you looking for an unawkward social interaction? Today, you feel torn between pressure to fit in and your love of unconventional relationships. It's good to challenge your social expectations if that's what you need. Just make sure you're not doing that thing where you detach from people and then tell yourself that no one will ever understand you. Vulnerability is the first measure of friendship. And I just thought that was so relatable in terms of making connections, in terms of like letting people know where I'm at. As Jenny and I have talked about before, as we've all talked about together, and like not shying away from the things that I need just because I'm over here in this space. So yeah, choosing to connect. But I don't even know who to start with today because I feel like we're all pretty connected right now. I'm just going to go around the room. I don't know if everybody's seeing you in the same order on the screens. I think so. But Jenny, you're at the top, and you're directly to my
very
right
convenient.
So tell me about your connections today.
Absolutely. Well, I love that you bring up that it starts with showing people where we are at, right? And that begins with us first accepting where we are at. So I just want to read from my first book, Choosing Unity. We can begin with satisfying our inner belonging and our connection to self in accepting who we are. To me, it all starts with acceptance of me. And I have a story also connecting to this from this very week. Because when it's just been a week of having serious trouble winding down and getting my sleep. That's where I've been at. And it's been really having my priorities all messed up. And I've had that feeling of like floating around. Like, I don't even remember, like, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Am I connected to my core values? Am I connected to my why? And I had a really good conversation with you, Linda, reconnecting me to myself and coming back to the acceptance of who I am and where I'm not. And once I realign with my core values and my priorities, and it just all falls into place. And it's not this huge transformation. It's just making a decision to honor myself. Linda, would you like to tag in a little bit based on that conversation?
Well, we boiled it down to not sleeping is a choice. And that seemed to be what kind of took you over the line, and you got 6 hours of sleep last night. So that was awesome. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes, it is just a choice. And sometimes I get really stuck in duality, if that makes sense. You know, I get stuck in And even like, am I doing things good enough? I think about clients, and it's even from, gosh, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I really think it's I really think it's the experiences from my past, where I was taught that nothing that I did was ever good enough. I keep looking for the places where I'm screwing up. And that brings me back to choice. Like, I can choose to go to sleep and be present with the joy of the work that I get to do. It's just a choice where I am focusing at. And I don't really know where I'm going with this today, but I'm happy to share. This is where I am.
I love that, because you didn't actually have to go anywhere with it. You chose where you wanted it to go. You chose how you wanted to show up and connect with us and what you wanted to share. And so doesn't that just make the point itself? It didn't have to go anywhere. It was what it was. It is what it is. Stina, how are you choosing to connect today?
Oh, I had something brilliant to say a few minutes ago. Now it's not in my mind anymore. So I have been learning that connection. I've been learning for many years that connection starts with you and connecting to yourself. And what that really is about is honesty. And we tend to be the first person that we will lie to. We mislead ourselves, or we distract ourselves, or we confuse ourselves. And when we do that, it keeps us from being connected. So when you feel connected to yourself, you feel like you're being yourself, or like you can be yourself. It's that feeling that you know who you are, you know where you stand, you know what you have to say, and you're doing it. So along with that honesty is an element of commitment or devotion to yourself, where you build experiences over time that show yourself that you can trust yourself. So when you connect to yourself and you know where you stand, you know what you believe, you know who you are, and you go make decisions and follow through with goals that you have or priorities that you have, and you make those things real, then the connection to yourself feels real. It feels like you're being very like true to yourself, right? We've heard that, true to yourself, but what does it mean to be honest with yourself? Because sometimes we also will have things that we dream of or desire, and we know that the desire is true. It's us. We feel connected to the desire. But then we either self-sabotage that or just don't do anything about it. And I was just talking this morning with somebody about how when I was a kid, it was difficult for me to wrap my head around why my parents didn't pursue things that they talked about wanting. So whether it was further college education or a side career, like wanting to start a business, there were a lot of there was so much inspiration and so many ideas that I was exposed to, but I didn't see my parents put action behind them, and it would have been impossible for them to do all of them. But it was so simple to me. Well, if you want to be able to substitute teach, you need, I think it was 90 college credits, and you need to transfer the credits you have, see what you've got, and figure out how to get the rest of the credits, and how long that's going to take. Like, I always kind of thought about it in a pragmatic way. As an adult, I know there's a lot of factors that go into that as a parent and having a family and having kids that I couldn't necessarily conceive of. But that kind of approach has served me well as an adult too, because I have family, I have those concerns, I have a lot going on in my life, and I still want to follow through on my desires and my priorities and my goals. So, how do I give myself compassion for the times when I'm not connected to myself, or I just, life has responsibility for me that I need to take? And going, okay, well, if this is what you really want, how are you going to get it? How are you going to make progress in that direction? So it's been like I've shifted from putting pressure on myself to like be perfect and 100% of the time being connected and being honest with myself and always feeling fully expressed, and like that is intense. That doesn't feel very human. And so like lifting some of that pressure and just being like, here's where I want to go, and I'm going to keep moving in that direction until I get there. Whether that's in a week or 3 months or 6 months or 2 years, I don't care. This is where I'm going. This is the direction I'm headed in. So that's how I've learned to have a richer connection with myself that lets me then connect with other people in that same way, with humanity and compassion, and also a little bit of that like drive. I'm not sure exactly what word to that push, we kind of all need a little bit of that push in there too.
I love being able to give yourself that time and space, however long that takes for it to come in and happen. Dorrit knows all about that, right? Like you didn't work for 7 years, right? So as you were reconnecting with yourself and what you wanted your life to look like and how you could express yourself going forward. How are you connected these days?
Much better, thank you. Up until my burnout, I was, well, if you looked in like a lexicon or whatever, and you looked up the word disconnected, I would be there. I was so disconnected. I had I was just existing for everyone else, and I had no idea about me and my own needs or wants, or so when I started learning how to connect with myself, I have been building so many amazing connections, lasting connections, deep connections, valuable connections for me and for them, that I wasn't able to do that before. It seemed like when I look back, all the people that I attracted before was shallow. They were using me in a way, and I don't miss them, to be honest. So to be connected to yourself and have that foundation, that you are connected to your soul, to your heart, and can make decisions and connections with other people from there. It's so valuable. And when something happens in my life that kind of shift the balance, and I'm falling out of that connection with myself, I'm spiraling pretty hard, and it's like, Linda, help. To get me back on my right track. So now I've got a little lesson from Linda how to do it myself when I feel that I'm slipping, because it can happen, people. I mean, life and the world is kind of unpredictable, and just because I'm connected to myself right now doesn't mean I am tomorrow. So it's super important to have that person or that tool that can kind of help you to get connected, to help you to get connected with yourself, and from there you can build those relationships that you deserve with people you connect with around the world. So I hope that answers your question, Shab.
Oh, that answered my question and then some. Like we've filled other buckets here, other connections. Linda, Dorit shared that you showed her a way to reconnect with herself. How can other people do it too when they feel a little bit disconnected?
Well, what I do is muscle test to see if I'm connected to my higher self, and I know I've taught you guys that. So, people just want to connect with me at lindavetchesnichols.com, do a clarity session with me. I'd be happy. Basically, it's am I connected with my higher self, and you get yes or no. Excuse me. If it's a no, then it's we're made up of lots of different entities. Excuse me. And sometimes we're connected with ones that aren't serving us very well. So they just need to go to the light. So we just invite them to the light is kind of the basics of it. And there's usually a counselor, or there is a counselor there that will help them, a spiritual counselor. And usually it's a family member. My goodness. So that's the exercise I do, and then you just recheck, am I connected to my higher self? And you are or you aren't. Usually are. So it's pretty easy exercise to do. I wrote into this.
I have to ask,
go ahead.
Where is that energy, that throat energy coming from right now? Like who?
Yeah.
Are you pulling from one of us, or are you pulling from somebody who's watching that you've got the tickle in your throat there?
I'm sure Stina could analyze that real fast. What I was going to say is I came into this world not knowing who I am, and in my human design that was like, yep, that proved that. And I didn't have a favorite color. I didn't have a favorite flower, and all that stuff has actually been work through coaching, learning coaching, the coaching world and stuff. And so well, I didn't even start writing books until I was in my 50s. So, my first book was a long time ago, but yeah. So anyways, you guys know that story. Anyways, in this book in particular, Walk at the Level of Your Soul, I was looking through it today and it said, I found some old branding notes. Now I know why I'm so good with helping others achieve clarity and understanding their vibrational design. Alchemist. I can turn negatives into positives. I can turn fear into courage. I can go from scientific to spiritual, creating a new vision for the world. I am a change agent. Translator. I'm good at interpreting. I am the messenger of meaning. Visionary. I am a brilliant strategist. I have the wisdom to imagine the promise and potential on behalf of the greater good. I possess the ability to illuminate the benefits and drawbacks based on decisions and actions without prejudice. I create structures that shift society. I am characterized by great imagination, insight, and boldness. I think in systems and can synthesize, there's a big word for you, multiple data points. Artist. This archetype also fits me quite well. I do look at the world through the lens of innovation. When someone gives me one way to accomplish a task, I find 5 more. When there are 6 issues, I figure out the one thing I can do to clear up all of them rather than attacking each one individually. My copy is reflective and empowering. I look to the past in order to understand the present and figure out the future. I am all about empowering people, especially women. I have always made sense of things for myself and others. The way I operate in the world is through trust. I support women to trust in their intuition and imagination because I believe in the well-supported woman. Support is important for everyone, of course. Trust is important to me and is the way I move in this world. I focus on intuition and imagination. And that's like so big for me, but I swear I took every, archetype test and love doing human design, which Stina can do for people. And yeah, so digging deep, that's what I came up with.
I love the way that list like helps you connect with who you are, but it also allows people to connect with you where they are, depending on which one of those, if not all of them, they relate to most. So it's not always just like a one way or a one type of person type of thing. Like we have different ways that we connect with people all around us, and it's how we can relate to those people around us and to ourselves that really like can drive that conversation and make the connections stronger. So
Right.
yeah, I love
And-
thank you for sharing that list.
Absolutely. And you're so focused on that with your operation separation. Like, 3 women talking different burnout stories or whatever. Like we're not in competition. I mean, you line 3 people up and most likely there's just one of the 3 that, if you're looking for a coach, that's the one I would want, right? And it's because that person's showing who they truly are. They're in their authentic vibration, and it makes it so easy to connect. And if someone isn't, and maybe they're in imposter syndrome or whatever, and you start working with them, it comes around pretty fast. It's like, this is not the person that showed up, that I felt like I resonated with. Basically, people see right through it. Yeah, it's interesting. Has anybody done the I am exercise? That's such a great one when you're tapping into who you are.
What's the I am exercise, Linda?
Well, I put it in, I have my 2 memoirs in my father's closet and in my mother's kitchen. So you just fill in the blank. So it's a challenge I did. I was like, can you come up with 50 I am statements? Not easy. So mine was, I'll just read a few. I am powerful. I fascinate with power and mystique. That's Sally Hogshead's work. And I took her, whatever, what are those assessments or whatever? And she talks about like how you fascinate the world. So her book is called Fascinate. And that's how I do it. Power and mystique. I'm consistently inconsistent, and that's part of mystique. It's also part of ADHD. I am sexy, keeps me young and agile. I am witty and funny. Fun is my number 1 core value. I am always in flow. Flow equals freedom, which equals my 2nd core value. I am known for having a huge heart. Love is my 3rd core value. I am able to instantly recognize a problem. Recognition is my number 1 core passion on the core passion assessment. I'm able to know exactly what to do about what I recognize. That's the part of the recognition trait. And then there's also shadow sides of that. So that would be like boundaries. I know what to do. I know, but people don't want your help. Not everyone does. So that then gets into a boundary issue. So, Shell, I am. Go ahead.
If I had to
What
just
are you?
choose
Who are
one
you?
I am statement right now for
Yeah.
myself, I would say I am a change maker.
Yeah.
I am
Right.
somebody that advocates for change for myself as a lifelong learner,
Yeah.
and I'm that cheerleader that advocates for other people to make that change too.
Yeah. So true. How about you, Jenny? I am. What are
Right
you?
now, I am authentic.
You are.
And staying with what Dorit was sharing, that we're not always connected to ourselves. And that's fine. Keeping it real and calling matters by their true name and showing up vulnerably and real, that's what gets us back into connection. That's what really attracts people and show that you are trustworthy. That I am also human. And I know I want to work with people who are human.
Right. So another one you'd say is I am vulnerable.
Yes.
That'd be
Absolutely.
so you.
Yes. And I love it.
How about you, Stina?
I would say I am making progress. That's been my kind of mantra lately to myself. Like, I am making progress. I am making progress. Keeps me acknowledging each step
Right.
instead of waiting for like some big thing to happen before I can acknowledge that I am
Right.
making progress. I'm working on it. I'm making progress.
I love it. How about you as a person just taking a stance for who you are that other people definitely like, oh yeah.
For me.
No,
Or
I was just
Stina?
seeing if Stina
Yeah,
wants to
I
do another
didn't.
one.
Yeah.
I don't have anything right now.
I
That's
am
where
strong.
my whole focus is.
I know. Are you strong?
Yeah.
Are you confident?
Yes. I feel like I'm on one of those TikTok videos. Or the mom
time's gonna
saying to
run
the
out.
daughter,
Gonna miss
"Are
out
you
on the money."
kind?"
I love it. I am enough. There's mine. How about you, Dorit? Yeah.
I think today I'm funny because I'm just
You
giggling
are.
and feeling like I'm a little girl that's just laughing. So
Right.
yeah, all
Have you
about the
done
fun today.
your core values? I can see your number one core value being fun like me.
I think so. I can't remember right now.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's how that goes, Shell, and it's quite a challenge. So in some coaching circles, it's 100. I was like 50 was enough. Trust me.
Yeah, I haven't done it lately. Like I've made a full list, but I think maybe a year ago was the last time I wrote out a list of. It was a combination of I am statements and affirmations for myself, of like, which kind of go hand in hand a little bit, because it was things that I wanted to reaffirm for myself and let myself know that yes, I am powerful, I am confident, I can do these things. And so they weren't all I am statements, but they were very much like affirmations for myself. So yeah, I should go back and do it, as we all should do it from time to time, but maybe not 50 or 100 things. Just do what feels good for you.
We get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
So many connections that we've made today. As always, I love to have these conversations so that we can get deeper and deeper with these connections, not just with ourselves, but with each other and with everybody else who tunes in, who chooses to tune in, right? Tune in next week for another high vibe conversation with all of us amazing ladies. And wherever you are in the world, we're here to connect with you should you choose to do so. So stay tuned for another great conversation, and we look forward to seeing you. Same Shell time, same Shell station. This is Shell Shapiro, and we're out of here.